Okay. We can also like drag all these access days into the respective folder so that it's little cleaner. Okay. Now for this, let's just configure rather than okay, we can do just a path to and then proxy service proxy and proxy service. Okay, right? So we now if you look at the message flow of this pass-through proxy service, all you have is a start node and then a route node. Okay, and basing on the node, you have specific actions that are created, for those respective nodes. So rather, and that's what we were saying initially, that rather than trying to look at these and try to remember that, when you use the context menu, it will show the right options that are available for each one of them. Okay, so if you look at here, so it is routing directly to the business service, right? Uh, uh, so if we, let's say, quickly just to see if everything is working. Okay. Message flow proxy. Go here. So create. Even though in our original example we won't be getting this customer ID as part of this message, just to test it out, I'm gonna give it that like 1, 2, 3, 4. If I give that as the customer ID, okay. So cart 9. Okay, so shopping service is like where you are shopping. So for each customer, it will create a different cart. So for this customer, it is creating the cart and it is like cart 9, right? Okay, so this is working. Now, so what we are saying is that in the real world, we are not, when this service is called with create, it's not going to send the customer ID. Okay, so we will get just a message like that. So what we will have to do is like as part of message mediation, we will be calling the the customer service so that we can get the customer ID and enrich this message with the customer ID and call the backend service. So since we have to call the this other service now, which is the customer service, let's go ahead and create a another business service for that. Customer business service. Okay, so uh, okay, so now this is also looking good. right? Now in the proxy service, now we need to be able, so we have the start node, and then we have the route node. Now between these two we need to do a service call out. So for that, what we're going to do is, like, we're going to insert, since we don't have conditions yet. uh, See, condition, that branch node kind of offers two possibilities. One is like conditional branching and operational branching. Right. So let's say if you have a WSDL, and WSDL has multiple operations, and for each operation you have different type of processing. Right. So you can directly create a operational node, and then each branch will represent the processing of that particular operation. Okay, that's the only difference between conditional and the branching. And now conditional, you can have like one, two, or many conditions, right? For credit rating less than 5, greater than 5, less than 10, greater than 10, and you can have like 10 combinations. So for that, branching. So here, since we don't have either of those cases, I'm just going to use a simple pipeline pair node. Okay. Okay, so now in pipeline pair node, what do we need to do? Can someone tell me the next steps?
We need to call that business service.
Yes, so we need to call that business service, right? So for that, like we said, right, the whole pipe, now we are doing the request pipeline processing. So a pipeline is nothing but made up of stages, and then you have actions within the stages, right? So for then logically the next thing would be to add a stage. Okay, so once the stage is added, then you can do communication service caller. Okay, service caller. So service caller is for the service that we have, a business service that we have created, which is customer business service. Okay. What operation are we calling? We are calling the get operation, right? Get operation. Get operation of that service, right? And then let's say, so see, here is where this whole transformation and various options and all the other things will start to pop in. So we will, you will eventually see the repercussions of what option to choose, which to choose, and stuff. Okay. So configure, so body, you can choose that option, and then here now we are getting ready to call that service. So in order to call that service, you need to call it with that request message. So where is that request message coming from? And then once you call that service, you send a response. Then you need to capture that response in something, right? So for that, we create two variables. So here, this is where you can customer service request, and then customer service response. Okay, so you have a request and then a response. Okay. Actually, that's pretty much it, unless we have some headers, but in this case we don't. Yeah, so we have created like this two variables. Okay.